What's going on, boys? It's Clements back on the mic, back with another banger of a video. Now today I wanted to talk about a field of view slider. Now a field of view slider for console is definitely the most anticipated and requested feature by the community, yet to be implemented into the game 2 or 3 years later. Now we all know at this point that Warzone 2 is soon to be coming either alongside Modern Warfare 2 that's going to launch later this year, or early 2023 next year. In my opinion, the second option is more likely, because that's how Modern Warfare 2019 gave birth to Warzone. It dropped a few months into Modern Warfare's life cycle. I'm not sure with what season. I didn't start playing Modern Warfare till season 3, and Warzone was a thing back then, so I'm presuming it was either season 1 or season 2. I've got a feeling it might have been season 2, but if any of you guys have played that long, let me know. I was kind of taking a break from Call of Duty. I don't know, I just didn't like the latest titles, like Black Ops 4 kind of sucked. Now, Warzone 2 will be next gen only. If you didn't already, it will be next generation consoles only, so that's your PS5, your Xbox Series S and X, meaning that we could very well see a field of view slider for console. Now, this is the first point I've got for today's video. Now, a lot of people are on the fence about this, about a field of view slider coming to console. Because we've always wanted one and we never got one, and I understand that. If you expect disappointment, you'll never be disappointed, but I think that there's a very strong chance of a field of view slider coming to next generation consoles with the launch of Modern Warfare 2. Raven Software and Infinity Ward aren't stupid. They both know and aware that the community have requested a field of view slider pretty much every day over Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, etc. And they've tried implementing a field of view slider into the game, both of them, and both have failed due to what they say are basically hardware limitations. So your Xbox One and your PS4 are in the way of a field of view being implemented, because if you didn't know, the wider the field of view, it can cause performance issues if your hardware isn't strong enough, so things like frame rates, mainly frame rates. So because it's to do with rendering distances. I mean, I'm not a developer, you know, I'm not that high tech, I don't all know what I'm talking about, but I know that it affects performance because it's to do with the game rendering further distances, and obviously the more you can see, the more the game has to render all at once. If you go all the way to 120 field of view, you're basically creating a fisheye effect. So the console that you're playing on, or the PC, whatever, the hardware that you're playing on is forever having to render further and further away the higher your field of view, if you know what I'm trying to say. Even though I will say that I don't personally buy that, because the One X and the PS4 Pro could run the game at 4K 60 FPS, and I know that because I was a One X user, and I don't feel like the One X would have struggled at all to run a field of view slider on console. I mean, things like dead silence, when you activate dead silence in the game, it does actually widen your field of view, gives the effect of you running faster and quieter. Well, you are running quieter, but it kind of creates the illusion that you're moving faster as well. So that in itself is adjusting the field of view. So why the fuck couldn't a One X or a PS4 Pro run the game with a field of view slider? Okay, they don't even have to implement a field of view slider that goes all the way to 120. It could just be like, I think the default is 80, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's as low as 60. 60 is ridiculous, but I think it's 80. So why not give us the option to go to 90 or 100? Surely dead silence creates a 90 field of view. Like, just give us the option, man. Anything would work, and we would be happy to at least give us the slightest ability to increase the field of view, because it's a massive advantage that PC do have over console, and they've had it for long enough now. With next generation consoles around the corner, there's no excuse for it, and they really need to sort it out, because PC have been at a huge advantage for the past 3 years in Warzone, in every Call of Duty title that hasn't had a field of view slider. And also, not to mention that games like Cold War had a field of view slider for Xbox One, PS4, and now admittedly that's a different engine, and obviously it's not as big as Warzone with 100 plus players all playing at once on the same server on a huge, massive scale map. But you know what I mean, it's still there. I mean, Vanguard runs on the same engine as Modern Warfare and Warzone, and that has a field of view slider. So it's just crazy to me that they're coming up with all these excuses. But yeah, so with Warzone 2 being built from the ground up for a new generation of gaming, there's no excuse for it really, this time around, at least in my opinion. From a logical point of view, a field of view slider is imminent. Okay, there's a good chance of it coming. Now, the second reason as to why I very much see a field of view slider coming to the future of Warzone with this new second Warzone game, the second Warzone title. I don't think it'll actually be called Warzone 2. Not sure what it's going to be called, but besides the point, Warzone 1, the original Warzone, was never built for the long term. Okay, Warzone 1, we all know, is forever attached to Modern Warfare. It can't be its own app, even though we've all asked for it to be its own app, and it should have been its own app. But that's because Warzone wasn't meant to see the light of day much longer after Modern Warfare 2019's life cycle, and Treyarch were also reported to be working on a Blackout 2 Battle Royale game mode at one point. Obviously, that's since been cancelled, but you see, Activision saw this as a money milker, and because that's typical Activision, but as a result, they didn't want to let go of the millions upon billions they could have made and have made with Warzone over the past 2 or 3 years. Warzone 2 will be intended to become its own app and perform for the long term, okay, and compete with other games even more like Fortnite. So if this is going to be its own app, run on a better engine, presumably Modern Warfare 2's engine, be built for the long term unlike our original Warzone, and be available for next gen only, a field of view slider will almost definitely be an available feature. So let me know what you guys think down below. That's my take on it. It makes complete logical sense for a field of view slider to come with Warzone for next gen, okay, because there's no excuse. Like I've said, the excuse last time was hardware limitations, which I can accept. I understand that, even though, like I've said, the One X and the PS4 Pro I think were perfectly capable of running a field of view slider. But besides the point, with this new Warzone title being for next gen only, next gen consoles and of course higher end PCs will be able to run this game. I think they will be giving all players on every platform a field of view slider. I really do. I have full faith in this. I think I can almost guarantee it actually. There is no better time than to release a field of view slider for all platforms than when they release Warzone 2. Now, I said that about Pacific because, you know, everyone expected a field of view slider to come with Pacific because it was described as to run on a Vanguard, on the Vanguard engine, which it does, but everyone kind of got misconstrued and kind of thought that it was, they misunderstood it for a next gen upgrade, which it kind of was but kind of wasn't, if you know what I'm saying. We thought it was going to be a huge boost in performance, but it really wasn't. Okay, we all know the state of Warzone right now. It was a lot worse a couple of weeks ago. They're only just now fixing the shit that's in the game due to Pacific, but there was no field of view slider implemented with Pacific, so now we know that it hasn't come with Pacific. The next best opportunity and the best time for them to drop a field of view slider for console will be for Warzone 2, which will only be for next gen consoles only, so it will be a huge upgrade in everything, performance, graphics, everything you can think of. So I think it will be the best time of all time to implement a field of view slider for console players. So yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you all. I've been Clements, you've been absolutely amazing as always. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, take care and stay safe. Goodbye for now.